interpret however they like, and I don't want to try and suggest anything. But yeah, that's what we're aiming for.
Okay.
And yeah, hopefully, we'll be able to cruise right into that window.
Now, one last question about the panel. You wore a piece of attire that really stood out. What can you tell us about that? I've never seen you wear a hat before in your life.
And also, the hat didn't fit. And no, I didn't pick the hat. A player very kindly bought it for me and sent it to me.
Oh, is that right?
Yes, yeah. So I wore my conductor's hat, but I think it's actually a child's conductor's hat because it kind of barely fits on my head. I said to people I said to the guy in question that if we started to talk a bit more about release date, then yes, I would wear the hat. And I want to be here we go again with the metaphors. What I want to be clear is that way back, and I do remember what I said. I said that when we start talking about a release date announcement, that the announcement of that release date would be coming, like a train. And I've been very careful about, but what I also said was that a pre-order, I said there are certain things that will happen before release, and one of them is a pre-order. So the pre-order has started, so I felt it was appropriate to doff the cap in question. Now I never want to talk about trains again. So yeah, I certainly did wear it. And although, as I said on the panel, I'm like, I was like, some of you in this room might know what this means. And I heard a few people going, whoa! So I'm like, oh, good. Because if it was a stony silence, they just would have been like, he's crazy.
No one's getting this joke.
Yeah, oh well.
Exactly.
Yeah, I left it right at the end.
All right, so in a general sense, it means that we are moving in the direction of launch, and this is one of the signs that day is coming, but it does not mean that it's right around the corner, and there's no specific time frame attached to that.
Yeah, well, I mean, apart from the window we've talked about. Yeah,
right.
I'm not going to go any further with the metaphor. Yeah, it's coming, and pre-order is obviously a huge part of that. Helps us gauge, the kind of demand we're looking at for launch. Helps us, get a lot of other stuff involved. And the key thing about pre-order, as we've said a few times, is that the order in which you redeem the pre-order code. Order is the wrong word. One more time. The sooner you redeem your pre-order code, the sooner you will get to play. Early game access, which is essentially a head start program, right before the game launches, and we will order people based on when they redeem their pre-order code. One thing I should point out is that there's been some rumors flying around about different lengths of time access based off of the additions to the game. We had that idea at one point. We've since discarded it, and now it's purely based on when did you redeem your code?
So buying the collector's edition doesn't get you in earlier than buying the standard edition, anything like that.
Unless I buy my collector's edition before you buy your collector's edition or your standard edition. That's what it's based on, and people shouldn't panic because it's going to be a lot of servers at launch, and while you may feel like, oh no, I'm going to be in 2 weeks, or it's not going to be an enormous span of time, and we're going to be opening up a lot of servers. So so you'll be placed, and I certainly don't think that in the first 24 hours, as we are now, not even that, 12 hours? No, 15 hours? I don't know. But anyway, my point is that don't panic right now. I know how many sales have happened and everything else, and so far, you're all fine. You're going to be in like day one or day two, or I don't know. But
and there's plenty of editions of the game still to be picked up.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. I mean, standard edition's out there. Digital Deluxe is still available from Origin, and the collector's edition is available at retail.
Okay. Once again, folks, this is Jeff Hollis from TourWars.com with a very big thank you to Stephen Reid. Thank you so much for talking to us. Give us one last word on all the big events at Comic-Con.
Wow, it's a huge show. It was my first time doing a panel. Being on a panel, or certainly I ran it. I read the script and everything else, and yeah, that's a big room full of people. It's actually a real blessing that they put really strong lights in your face. Yeah. If anyone saw me, I was up the front doing this when I was trying to see who was asking questions. Yeah. So it's good because you can't see the huge sea of faces out in front of you.
Do you have any idea what kind of the numbers were in that room?
That was a 2,000 capacity room.
Yeah, and it was standing room only. There was a lot more than 2,000 people in there.
I didn't hear about standing room only, actually, yeah. So, yeah, I thought they weren't allowed to put more than 2,000 in the room, so that's good.
I'm not sure exactly how that happened. Every seat was full, and if you looked along every wall, even in the back, there's plenty of people standing. So.
Okay, that's great. Yeah, I mean, it's very humbling,
So this Old Republic thing might be kind of popular.
Yeah, it might be. You never know.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Thank you very much for talking to us. This is Jeff for TourWars.com, and we are signing off.